Alright everyone, hello and welcome back. Happy Easter first of all. Great, we got a nice Easter gift, and that is the downtrend that, as long as you want to keep prolonging it, you can. You can't anymore. It's official. It's broken by now. The downtrend is broken. This is the downtrend that we've seen since practically all-time high levels. I know I've been putting it off for such a long time now, but it's at the point where you can't just put it off any further, right? We used to see this before. We used to see a bit of this before, right? And it was still kind of there. So, this downtrend has put us through quite a bit. Until I'd say it's finally time to put the nail in the coffin, put it to rest. Okay, well, thank you, Bradley. Yeah, we'll be right back. So, yeah, downtrend is broken. There you go. Where are we now? Well, during Easter Sunday, we dropped to a low of 83,900. I thought 84,000 barrier would have been broken by then. Did I not draw? I did draw. I was expecting a drop to 83,000, but we did not get there. We stayed above that, quickly recovering to 84,000. From there, we got new pivot levels drawn, which we are currently using. Resistance 2 matches perfectly, by the way, with the Fibonacci level at 88,033, which is where we have our first resistance that we were technically not able to break. We temporarily were above there. We reached a high right now of 88,400, but we quickly dropped below that. I was lucky enough to sell literally at the top, I think. Literally at the top, I was able to sell a position. Made some good profits. I'm no brainiac wizard. It was just a lucky prediction. I just sold at the top and it just dropped from there. So lucky me, lucky me. I get it. I know, right? It was on my main account, by the way. Anyways, so from here, it's looking like we're staying within this range for now. Why? First of all, resistance we were not able to completely break out above. So we're using 88,000 as the first resistance. Support, we're now going to be using where we have the 200 exponential moving average and one of the resistance levels I have drawn before, which will now be working as support. We're looking at 86,000 to be that point. We could see ourselves congestion in this area. I still agree so. I don't think we're fully going to break out and continue above. I don't know. There's some discrepancy now with this with the M2 money supply that I usually talk about, right? It seems like 108-day offset was the most appropriate one to use for the longest time. It was the closest resembling one, but we've deviated from that, and you'll notice that, right, based off of what I've drawn. I drew this. I was expecting us to be down here due to the lack of fundamentals and everything, but it seems like the opposite happened. Of course, the opposite happened, but also due to the lack of fundamentals, really, like, nothing major has come out. China still hasn't done anything with the United States in terms of tariff regulation. None of that stuff has come out, right? Some stuff did happen, but they're just so minor. So really nothing major. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. The good news is we are up instead of down. That's not a problem at all. Like I said, I was prepared for both scenarios. I had cash on the side ready to buy a potential dip, which I still think may come. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. It's April 21st right now. We're expecting that original blast off, always been said, by May 1st. Could we see a drop this week? Yeah, probably. What happened today? Stock market crash as well. $1.5 trillion was lost in the stock market today. And apparently Bitcoin and crypto didn't do that. They added $60 billion to their market cap in general. That could possibly indicate the fact that we're finally, what do you call it? Like diverging, we're breaking off, we're doing our own thing finally. We're not doing exactly what the stock market is doing, which is a good thing, right? Realistically speaking, tariffs have literally no effect on Bitcoin. And I think people are finally coming to that realization, like, why are we panic selling? Why are we selling off? It doesn't make sense. China-United States tension has literally nothing to do with us. Matter of fact, both currencies are devaluing. Also, the talks of rate cuts, Trump pressuring Jerome Powell to get some rate cuts in, that's also going to weaken the US dollar a little bit more. Inflation's not really on the rise, right? So that would give room for rate cuts. If we do get rate cuts, of course, you know what that means. Money printer, more people would rather not save, they would rather spend, right? And where would they put that money into? Risk assets. We know global M2 money supply is rising. That's just a fact. It's just a matter of time before that money starts flowing into Bitcoin and crypto market, right? We're already seeing a bit of that effect already happening with gold, which is, by the way, still hitting new all-time highs every day. Today, I think it reached a high of 34,000. 3,400. I cannot talk today, but 3,433, indeed. This is in the 1 hour chart. Reached 3444.410. That's the highest point ever. So, hey, it's not showing any signs of stopping. Good if you trade gold, but I'm gonna stick with my Bitcoin. And we know that Bitcoin will trail that general price movement of gold. It's something that's been proven in the past as well. So a lot of bullish indicators in that sense from the macro perspective. I think that kind of sentiment has finally, made some people buy in once again. Break out of a downtrend. This major downtrend was very crucial as well. So I guess this is a well-deserved pump finally up here. Now, can a dip still happen? Probably. I'll talk about that in detail once we get to the topic of M2 money supply. There's still a couple things we need to talk about today. So I didn't stream past couple of days. I know. I've been busy with family. No big deal. And also working. I am applying for jobs too. Big, crazy move. I know. That's insane. And if I don't get hired, their loss. I'm literally the best person. Anyway, enough about me. 87,600. The price of Bitcoin currently up. It says it's up 0.81%. I disagree. Okay, since our breakout, let's just say it's about a 2-3% pump. Okay, pretty decent for Bitcoin, right? It was looking nicer earlier in the morning. We saw larger percentages. Now, the percentages are kind of wearing off. A lot of coins have done their little corrections. Can we continue with the pump up? I think we're going to slow down for a moment. Our pump has already happened. We're just expecting to see what's going to come out this week. I think we're getting, what do you call it? PMI data this week. Some feds will be speaking. It's not Jerome, so it's not interesting. Fed Waller. Thursday. Existing home sales. Okay, it's not that relevant. No, nothing really. I'm pretty sure we were getting PMI data or something. PMI. This is for Japan, for Europe. Okay, here is... Yeah, it's not even that important, really. No, okay. And what about Powell? Is he speaking at all? Did they say Fed Chair Powell? Yeah, no Powell. Nothing this week. So literally, it's going to be a slow week as well. Today was Easter Monday, but stock market was still open, hence the drop. So, yeah. But it was closed on Friday, as we all knew. Saturday, Sunday, I don't think there was much volatility in the crypto market. You can clearly see how flat it was. Let me go to like a 1 hour chart so you can appreciate just how flat the crypto market was. Like if I go like this, sure, it looks like a lot of volatility, but no, realistically, this is what it looked like. Very flat, stayed within the range that I mentioned it. And then very, very late on Sunday evening, once Asia market opened up, it seems like Bitcoin started rallying from 85,000 all the way to where it reached this morning. It's not all-time high, monthly high, we'll call it 88,400. So very good rally from Bitcoin. And of course, most altcoins did follow as well. I did also take some profits on Solana. It reached a high of 140 today, I'm pretty sure. 143, yeah. Very decent as well. I did not take profit at that time, though. I took profit like over here. Solana was rallying the night before, so this morning wasn't that crazy, but still I took advantage of whatever tiny pump this was, and it dropped from there. Reached its low point at the pivot at 133. Current price is 137. It's currently eyeing that resistance at 144 approximately. Reached a high of $143.20, as I mentioned. Downtrend is technically broken as well, a little bit prematurely, a bit earlier on for Solana, which is a bit surprising. This is a smaller temporary downtrend, though. Overall downtrend, I think we still might have it if I'm not crazy. Let me go to like a weekly chart or daily chart, I think. No, actually, yeah. It's just been consolidating at the lower point right over here, right? Reaccumulating is what we would call that. I'm interested in drawing a Fibonacci because I think, okay, bottom is in. Bottom is in. Like, it happened. The bottom that happened in, what was this? April 7? Black Monday, right? Sure. There you go. That's your bottom. What is going to cause us to drop like that again? More tariffs? Tariffs have been paused for 90 days. It's now just China versus US, and we don't really care about them. Check that out. First resistance right there at 142, where we currently reached one of our highs from yesterday. And looks like we're trying to approach that again. So that Fibonacci already coinciding. Next level we're looking at, resistance 2 at 152. And then next important one will be roughly at 170 for Solana. Just to keep an eye out on those. Nice. I love how it backs up perfectly with pivot points, Fibonacci. It's great. Yeah. Currently seeing a little pump right now. That's pretty neat. Uptrend confirmed though, like according to my indicators. The exponential moving averages that I use, it's there. Uptrend is there. I might have to investigate like what other better exponential moving averages we could use. Although I think those two are fine for now. This is the uptrend that we're currently set for with right now. I love how perfect this pivot served as a resistance. So coincides with the couple things, right? The uptrend that we just drew, the exponential moving average 200, pivot point 133. Yeah, pretty perfect. Have a look at Ethereum, 1,569. What is Ethereum doing? Literally its own thing. Hey, it did reach a high of 1,658. This happened when? 2 a.m. For, okay, well, literally no reason. Look at these moving averages. We're getting golden cross, death cross. It's like a bit of uncertainty. Like, what is going on with Ethereum right now? We actually reached a low here. Oh my gosh. 1,536 was our low point. Stopping down there. And this is based off of a fib that I drew this way. So we're looking now for areas that we can bounce toward the upside again. And this one worked perfectly at 1,537. If you were able to like get an entry in there potentially, like a trigger order, lucky you. I wish I did. I did not pay attention to charts over the weekend that much as I should have. We did stop a little bit over here at first resistance. High point, as I mentioned, 1,658. Current price is 1,569 for Ethereum. It says it's down 2.60%. Yeah, it's kind of been doing its own thing. XRP versus SUI, the big war that I tell you guys about all the time. I think SUI is going to absolutely outperform XRP. And it is so far. Current price is $2.22. They were both at roughly $2 when I last compared them last week. And SUI's already just showing that it's better, honestly. First resistance for XRP met at $2.14. I don't see a golden cross for XRP yet, though, in a 1-hour chart. So this could technically indicate, yeah, we could still head to the downside. And look at this. Like, this also matched pretty well. I didn't pay attention to any of this, by the way, over the whole weekend. So this downtrend still serves its purpose. XRP still has a downtrend to break, bottom line. Currently approaching our pivot. This currently seems to be our resistance level. Seems like we did find some consolidation down over here, though, 206. And current price is 208 right now. Looking for that pivot point. All right, cool. A breakout will be neat, though, because it's gonna... Okay, we're gonna get a golden cross by the time that we break this downtrend. And then first resistance is just the only barrier that we have right over here, $2.14. From there, we've got great potential upside till we reach whatever this is. Now, a good 4% pump that could happen at from 214 to 224 approximately. I do not have any Fibonacci lines drawn, so I am interested in drawing them. Since our all-time high to our Yearly low, April 7, Black Monday. Let's do that. All right. From here to here. Also, I am curious because I have a tiny brain and I forgot. What was XRP's all-time high? 175 on top of whatever $2.08 is. I cannot math, so 208. Okay, cool. 208 plus 175. It's 383. Is that what we have up here? 340. We did not even break our all-time high. That is insane. Okay. So, yeah, XRP still has an all-time high to break, by the way. At 383, did I say? I already deleted it. It's fine. You're not going to see that for a moment. I'll worry about it when we get there. So, first Fibonacci, yeah, it's still a little too far. Don't pay attention to one-day pivot points. Because that would be monthly pivot, or weekly pivots. Is this weekly? From April 1 to April 28, that's a whole month. Yeah, it's monthly pivots in that sense. So, unnecessary. Let's have a look here. Yeah, okay, first resistance to at 224. This just seems to be the most relevant area. We got a long way to go before we reach 220, 230. 230 would be the next one. So we got some levels to break through. Not too bad. Looking good for XRP. Like, I do like the price action. Just got to pay important attention to the breakout of this downtrend, which I think can take a while. Altcoins are going to lag a little bit behind Bitcoin. It's normal. Bitcoin will rise first, Ethereum next. Maybe Solana is. I don't know. Solana is like a very close competition to Ethereum, but Ethereum is trying to improve. We know Trump family owns a lot of Ethereum. Something's got to happen with Ethereum. Something, right? And then, of course, we'll get the rest of the altcoins trailing either Ethereum or Solana, whichever becomes the victor between those two. Don't get me wrong, XRP is a great project still, and I always mention this, it will do good longer term versus SUI. SUI will do better short term. Look at this pump that we're getting. 224 is current price. Stopped at, this is kind of what I'm expecting to see, by the way, with Bitcoin. It's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Let's just pretend Bitcoin, it had its high at 88,000 as I showed you guys, right? I'm expecting a drop that we're going to get. It's going to take a while, but we're going to bounce off of the downtrend that we broke before continuing upwards once again. I just feel like one more drop has to happen. It's a dip. It's a dip that has to happen, according to M2 Money Supply. And I don't know, Sui's kind of ahead of the game over here, and it's already done that. It's already got its golden cross, hence why it's already broken its downtrend over here. Valid, deserved, good for Sui. Reaching a high of 228 today. Low of, what is this, 213? Yeah, not bad. Bounced off of that level. But hey, we still got our golden cross over here. So, yeah. Looking good for Sui. Looking really good. First resistance perfectly matched as well. And I do want to draw some Fibonacci lines. Now that we likely know that bottom is in for most assets. Really, though? Maybe for altcoins, not. I wouldn't say. Who knows? Something devastating would need to happen, but I think we've already been through hell. Why? What else could happen? Is that the highest point? Yes. First resistance we're seeing next is 258 from here for Sui. Does that coincide with anything in a 1 hour chart? I'm interested. No, not necessarily. Kind of similar deal to what we're seeing with XRP as well. We got our first, well, the second resistance that we have from pivot at one point, which is showing 248 for Sui's case. And then after that, our Fibonacci resistance at 258, which in XRP's case was, what was it, 240? Or 230. 230, yeah. Similar deal. So imagine something rising from, well, in XRP's case, 209 to 229, well, 230. It's about a 9% pump. For Sui, though, I see a larger potential upside where we could reach from where we are right now to 258 using that same kind of measurement from Fibonacci. It's looking like a 14% pump. So Sui, I feel, just has the bigger potential short term. Litecoin is at $79.39 and was not able to break its uptrend, but we still got a golden cross here. Kind of bounced off over here. How long has this uptrend been in place for? Oh, very long. Yeah, very long indeed. This is from our annual high. I wouldn't call it all-time high. All-time high, I think, was 300 for Litecoin. Am I crazy? Yeah. Well, 400. No, 300. 400. We'll call it 400. It's $333 off of its all-time high, plus 80. If my math is not wrong, that's 400. So yeah, a lot of space for Litecoin to rise. I still believe in Litecoin. It's still the digital silver. You can't deny that. It's got its use cases. In some instances, I don't know. I've bought and sold with Litecoin before, like real assets. So there you go. Downtrend though, I'd still say it's in play. Has not been fully broken. I'm just going to slightly readjust it to this level. Hey, look at that. In the 4-hour chart though, super trend has flipped over to bullish side. I have not looked at super trends in a moment. I would draw fib from here. I think I will. Just see where we got our next resistances. Just readjust this perfectly. Right over here. It seems like that's exactly where we are right now. First resistance at Fibonacci 81. Literally there. Also coincides with this psychological level that we drew for a very long time that kind of worked at 80. So that's also great. It served right over here. Yeah, I agree with this. We deserve to bounce downward from here. Requires some momentum gathering, some accumulation, but it's going to be absolutely worth it. I think Litecoin is going to experience a nice breakout. First level I already see over here at 84. That one makes sense. Next one at 87, another psychological level that has served as resistance and support a couple times in the past over here. What is this one? 88? I don't think we're going to reach that high. To reach up here, I don't think that much. Litecoin is not much of a volatile asset. It usually requires, based off of what I've seen, good fundamentals, and it will rally like crazy. That's the only good time. You'd better be invested in Litecoin at that time, right? But for now, not much noise going on with Litecoin. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. While everything was crashing, okay, first crash, fair enough, right? February 2nd, February 3rd, everything crashed, right? The first time tariffs were announced. And then things kept crashing toward the downside, except for Litecoin. Litecoin was rising and it actually reached its high, almost that exact same high that we reached back in January, as if this tariff stuff never existed. Why? Because of potential ETF announcements that it was going to get. Oh, 90% chance that Litecoin is going to be the next spot ETF that will be approved, yes or yes. And it didn't happen, unfortunately. So from there, that's why we started crashing and ultimately, yeah, deserved. Low point of $63. Cool. That's crazy. That's a 50% drop, isn't it? Over 50. From 140 to 60, yeah, it's over a 50% drop. That's painful. But we've managed to recover from there. Where are we right now? About a 25%, we'll call it. Not too bad. On our way back up again. Do have a couple of resistances to break out through. Also the downtrend, which is why I agree with the fact that it might take us some time to reaccumulate over here, right? Wouldn't surprise me if we drop back down to 76. I would accept that. First of all, we have exponential moving average there and a pivot point. Would make sense. Did see some slowdown at 77.40, just to be like a little bit more precise there. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, I'm expecting just one more drop. I don't think the breakout is here yet. We did see a nice breakout in Bitcoin, but it's going to take some time, honestly. Not a lot of fundamentals. I think this week's going to be slow. What could you really pay attention to? Just earnings. This week is also not going to be that great for earnings, I don't think. Let me go look up earnings whispers. These guys tell us what stock market companies will be giving their earnings this week. I haven't had a look at it. Yes, April 21. Recognize any of these companies? I don't. Verizon, Tesla might be interesting. They hold some Bitcoin. Capital One. Nothing here. Wednesday we got Boeing, AT&T. Cool. After close, Chipotle. Texas Instruments, IBM. Cool. Thursday, American Airlines, Nokia, Pepsi. Yeah, nothing much that would impact crypto. Like, we're not getting some crypto companies in here. Unless I'm blind and I've completely missed them. I probably am. No, but I really don't see any, to be honest. And then, yeah. So, literally, not much of these are going to impact crypto in any way, right? Maybe Tesla, but Not really that much. Bitcoin and crypto will still do its own thing. Cardano, let's have a look at that. It's reached a nice high at 65, where we have our first resistance. Drop below, literally same situation that we saw with, what was the Sui, I think, bouncing off of the downtrend that it broke. But this one would have to get some readjustments done. I would readjust it to like over here. Yeah, so okay. Kind of fighting for our way to stay above the downtrend, breaking out of it. The breakout is confirmed. It's a thing. It's real. Now, yeah, I'm just agreeing with most altcoins. My conclusion is we're going to need some more accumulation down here. Sure, it's neat. We broke the downtrends because we've been flat for so long as well. That also contributes to that. You know, you're just flat in your price action. You're eventually just going to break a downtrend because you're just going in a straight line, and over time the downtrends will break. That's a good thing though, right? Also gives you time to accumulate over here. Maybe you could call it uncertainty. It's just not a lot going on this week. Nothing much even happened over the weekend. That should just give you a bit of a taste of what we're expecting here. I wouldn't expect a lot of volatility this week. That's all I'm going to say about that. Surprise. Bitcoin just made another high, 88,850. I was not paying attention to this. Wow. Literally just now. Yeah. Okay. 88,500. Well, I mean, hey, if we're going to go higher, sure. Where's the next stop? 90, 91? 91,000? Yeah, maybe. Although I wouldn't really push it. We'll see. We'll see. Who really knows why? I'll get to the news now, since there's a couple stuff to talk about. Nothing crazy happened over the weekend, but, you know, this is the stuff that is in the back of everyone's mind. Is Jerome Powell going to be fired by Donald Trump? Can he do that? Will markets panic? Probably. Is he allowed to do that? Probably not. But he's really studying about whether or not he has the ability to fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He's also, like, keeping some people in line, like, okay, who is likely to replace this guy? Who knows? I think Jerome Powell is just going to stay with his term. I think he has until next year before he has to go, right? His term ends. So, yeah. The thing is that Trump doesn't like him now because he thinks that he's playing politics. He's not cutting rates to make Trump look bad. He cut rates to make Biden look good, as explained on this Truth Social post by Trump. He says that preemptive cuts in interest rates are being called for by many, myself included. With energy costs way down, food prices, including Biden's egg disaster, substantially lower, and most other things trending down, there's virtually no inflation. I agree with that. With these costs trending so nicely downward, just what I predicted they would do, there can almost be no inflation, but there can be a slowing of the economy. Unless Mr. Too Late, that's the nickname that he gave to Jerome Powell, a major loser, lowers interest rates. Now, Europe has already lowered seven times. Okay, that's specific. Powell has always been too late, except when it came to election period when he lowered in order to help sleepy Joe Biden, later Kamala, get elected. How did that work out? I agree with that, right? It's almost like he is kind of playing politics. Is he really? Like, who knows what Jerome Powell's true intentions are? And Trump is really pushing this little conspiracy theory out there, like, this guy's anti-Trump and he's just making me look bad. This Jerome Powell guy. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. There was a time last year where it was a little bit too late. Stock market was indeed at all-time highs, but because rate cuts were indeed coming in. We also know that some of the economic data was faked and later on revised, and like this data was actually not true, so they had to change the data later on. But like I don't know, maybe Biden administration manipulated the data to make themselves look better, like, look, Bidenomics is working. Who really knows at this point? My lips are dry. But what we do know for sure is that at the beginning of this year, it's not something that was announced now, I'm talking about like beginning of this year, we know that rate cuts were indeed supposed to come. And given a worst case scenario with the tariffs and all of that, they still predicted about 2 rate cuts for this year, based off of the Fed projections, like their official files, right? I'm not talking about the percentages that I usually show you guys. the Fed says that there is room to cut rates, right? According to Grok's explanation, they say that their March 19, 2025 statement, they projected a median federal funds rate of 3.9% by year end, which implies roughly 25 basis point cuts from the current 4.25 to 4.5 range. Chair Powell also noted that it could ease policy if the labor market weakens or inflation drops faster than expected. I feel like that is the case right now, right? Even Trump is claiming this. So, are we getting rate cuts next month in May? That's the next meeting. We'll know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the super bullish claim is just bogus. Anyway, this is good. This is good news, and it's probably the reason why crypto has rallied today. We have a very pro-crypto government official, Paul Atkins, officially being sworn in as the 34th chairman of the SEC. No more Gary Gensler. We have a very pro-crypto guy now. Although, I think I don't remember if I showed. I think I did. Gary Gensler is apparently pro-Bitcoin now. He went on some news show to talk about it. That's about all we know about Gary Gensler right now. But he's gone, as Trump promised. He's delivered so far. Very good. And appointed a pro-crypto person in the SEC. No more useless cases. No more time, energy wasted. He also did the same thing with getting rid of whoever the crypto prosecutors were from the Department of Justice, I think. Yeah, so there will be less push of, crypto regulation like scandals that these companies get into sometimes with the government. So that'll be a good thing. See a bit of easing from that. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just look at the history of XRP, literally. Why it stayed down and flat for such a long time was because it was the largest case of a crypto project versus the government, right? The Securities Exchange Commission under the regime of Gary Gensler at that time. Here are some key upcoming events that will move markets in the next few weeks that could sway global markets in crypto. Earnings season, it's important. Companies in the Magnificent Seven being the top 7 largest stocks in the stock market. They have an outsized impact on the markets. That's true. Things like Tesla, for example, that's why I mentioned Tesla, might be a little bit important. There's other companies, I'm assuming they're like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft. I don't know them off the top of my head. What are the Mag 7? Just look it up, honestly. All right, cool. There's an ETF for that. Magnificent 7. Oh, Google is there. Meta, Tesla, Microsoft I mentioned, Nvidia, Amazon I didn't mention. Yeah, those are the companies. That's all you really got to know about them. So we're getting earnings from them, just quarterly reports on how they're performing, right? Investors need to know this information so we get an idea of what to expect for the next quarter, right? Every 3 months is when this would happen. April 22nd, we're getting Tesla's Q1 earnings, which is tomorrow. As the electrical vehicle benchmark, Tesla's numbers could sway market risk sentiment, including crypto. That's why I mentioned it. Traders are watching its margins and demand outlook closely. It's going to be a little bit spooky. I don't know. I think Tesla will have bad earnings. That's just me, though, because of everything that we've seen with Elon. Keep in mind, we're talking about the first quarter of 2025, which that's when Elon Musk was really under attack with all of the dealership stuff, a lot of sell-off, Tesla stock crashing from its, once costing 400 to now costing 200, that kind of deal. I mean, we're giving rough numbers, right? And a lot of Tesla vehicles damaged, things like that. Him saying that he was going to double production, but have sales really doubled or gone any better? How has sales been doing? Are people scared to buy Teslas now because they're going to get vandalized? Yes or yes? Like, things like that. Just makes me doubt. I just have a feeling that it's just going to be bad earnings. But if it is bad earnings and the stock price drops, I deep down still know that Tesla will be one of the largest companies in the next couple of years. Like, if you're looking for a long-term investment, I just know that. There's just so much planned behind it. The electric vehicles, they will get better, of course. Everything is computer, made in the USA. I just said, no, forget the computer part. The robots, Optimus robots, that's coming. The Tesla cabs, right? Unmanned Ubers, literally, in electric vehicle format. That's pretty cool. Come on. yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be revolutionary. It's the future, right? It's something, if you want to invest in technology and something about the future, I think that's the way to go. And here's some historical context. I just skipped over this. Wow. Tesla missed estimates last quarter with shrinking margins amid steep electrical vehicle price cuts. But it was Trump's auto tariffs combined with Elon Musk's damaged reputation that really fueled Tesla's 40% drop, as I mentioned. Investors will be eyeing if Q1 deliveries rebounded or slowed, and whether the new Model Y ramp or cost cuts help stabilize margins. Any surprises or hints on EV demand, pricing strategy, or Tesla's AI self-driving plans, robo-taxis, that's what I meant to say. They could ripple through the EV sector and broader risk assets. Finally, investors will be listening for guidance in terms of how the company plans to navigate tariff uncertainty. Next, we get Alphabet, which is Google. It will be a key read on digital ad spending and big tech's AI momentum, setting the tone for market sentiment. That's also going to be a big thing, like AI, right? NVIDIA also should be a part of that. Maybe Microsoft too. Maybe Apple too. No, not really Apple. Apple has given up on AI, I'm pretty sure. But hey, Microsoft too, maybe. Historical context. Last quarter, they posed a strong 12% revenue jump driven by search and YouTube ad revenue. Net income surged 28%. However, slowdown in Google Cloud growth and hefty $75 billion 2025 capex plan spooked investors. Watch whether ad revenues hold up despite economic uncertainty. I think so. Ad revenue is always just going to be a thing. Everybody uses YouTube. Slowdown in Google Cloud growth and a hefty 75 billion. Okay, I just said that. Search upgrades, YouTube AI, Gemini language learning models, or machine, or whatever it stands for. And if cloud margins or cost controls improve. And any unexpected news from guidance regulatory developments. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, cool. What's next? Microsoft. I'm not going to read through all of this, but you can if you want to. Here's the information for Microsoft, Apple. Literally the Mag 7 is what it's talking about here. FOMC meeting that's happening May 7th. Yeah, it's going to be most anticipated meeting. It's really looking like an 89% chance of us not getting rate cuts. That is insane. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a rate cut does have to happen, right? I'm on Trump's side with this one. Like, it just has to happen. And if we want to see a rally starting off in May, we're going to need that rate cut. Like, at least one. The first one. 11% chance that it happens. Very unlikely, but hey, the chance is still there. It's not completely discarded, not thrown out of the window. A lot has changed since the last meeting. This is also the first meeting since Trump's Liberation Day and his attacks on Powell. Irrespective of what happens with rate policy, it will be what is said that will be eagerly anticipated. That could also be the case. Like, I completely agree with this and I missed it. So on that meeting day, Jerome Powell usually speaks right after they make their decision, right? To address the press, to answer questions, all that stuff, and to give projections of what's coming up next. We don't have to wait until the meeting after to start rallying. If Jerome Powell says, hey, yeah, next meeting, I think we're going to get a rate cut, markets will start rallying immediately on that day, May 7, whenever he gives his speech. So, hey, that could be the case as well. That is true. It's whatever is mentioned that will move markets. Not necessarily the rate cuts itself. I mean, if we do get a surprise rate cut, that'll boost things earlier that day. He usually speaks a couple minutes or hours later after the decision has been made. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. April CPI report, May 13. This is just more economic data, which we don't really have to worry about right now. Retail sales, May 15. Sure. So, yeah. It's important stuff that will be coming up soon. This week, though, not much going on. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Arthur Hayes, he was, I think, MEXC co-founder, something. He says that this may be the last chance to buy Bitcoin below 100,000 and promises a new essay this week. Can't wait to read it. And I don't know. He did also call the bottom correctly. I'm also basing my bottom off of whatever he said. Yeah, bottom is in down here. He did call this. He's like, I think that's the bottom, guys. I think we bounce from here. And we did indeed bounce from there. Hey, but it's not completely discarded. Maybe we do just drop suddenly. What would have to happen for us to be below 80,000? 80,000 is a 9% drop. Yeah, that has happened. How much lower? 12% drop till we reach this specific accumulation zone that I have drawn over here that I was expecting us to be in at 77,000. 12% drop. 13% maybe. From wherever we are right now. Who knows? Last chance to buy Bitcoin below 100,000. I'm gonna have to consult with my M2 money chart to confirm or deny that. MicroStrategy purchased more Bitcoin. Pretty sure MetaPlanet also did. MetaPlanet. Did they actually purchase? I might be crazy. MetaPlanet buys additional $26 million in Bitcoin. Okay, that's something. It's not bad. Wait, when is that post from? April 14. Okay, that was last week then. Forget that. MicroStrategy now owns 2.7% of all Bitcoin in circulation. They bought 6,556 Bitcoins worth $555 million at an estimated average price of $84,000 each, bringing its total holdings to now, they now have 538,200 Bitcoins. Man, they're not stopping. His original goal was 500,000. He's 38,200 above that right now. He just keeps on accumulating. It's in total worth $36.47 billion. Average price is now 67,000 in terms of his total holdings. I want to check, has MicroStrategy risen at all? The answer is no. Maybe tomorrow it will. We're getting some nice movement in Bitcoin. It's got to reflect on the price action of its stock, right? Oh no, wait, I'm blind. This is the 1 hour chart. Yeah, it did rise. Yeah, it rose a little bit. Bit of a gap over here, beginning of the day. Yeah, it's not too bad. We're on our way back up. Please cross 348. I hope. I don't even have that much money in there. As whatever. I have most of it in Bitcoin myself. Why buy a stock that buys Bitcoin when you could just buy Bitcoin directly? If you can't buy Bitcoin directly, I would understand. I would agree. But come on, there's other options. Here's important news for Ethereum. Vitalik is proposing replacing Ethereum's EVM. It's, oh my god, something virtual machine. EVM. Environmental virtual machine? No, crypto. Ethereum virtual, it's literally Ethereum virtual machine. What am I, whatever. What it's talking about here, it's replacing the Ethereum virtual machine for RISC-V to boost Ethereum's scalability. If you don't know what this is, I don't know either, so we're going to find out together. How about that? Search. And what this will do is that it will streamline smart contract execution and boost speeds by up to 100x. That's a good thing. He's basically improving his Ethereum core model, his, you know, streamline, scalability, whatever. RISC-V is an open source instruction set architecture, ISA, that provides a foundation for building customized processors and is based on reducing instruction set computing principles. Modular and customizable architecture enables developers to design, optimize, and import software and hardware applications with more freedom and less cost than the proprietary architectures. Maybe that could be the boost that Ethereum needs after all, because it is struggling against Solana. And if you make Ethereum faster and you make Ethereum cheaper, which it already is getting a little bit cheaper, we can see from here, the gas fees dropping to approximately literally 1 cent per transaction. That's pretty darn good. But people are concerned that it's because of there's no traffic. That's why the prices are low. Because that's how L1s work, really, right? If there's a lot of traffic, the gas fees or the transaction costs, those go up, right? They can even get congested sometimes. We've seen that with Solana. But when nobody's using it, like, the prices drop very low. That's where you're going to see some of the other altcoins as well, with like very low transaction fees, because there's no traffic. And that's the meme over here, right? There's no Ethereum traffic. There's nobody's using Ethereum. That's why it's low. But I just like to think that it's probably because they're making it better. I mean, come on. I remember paying like $5 once to send Ethereum to a different wallet at one point. I'm like, oh, this is so painful, man. $5 to send something? Like, come on. Not even any transfer is charging me that much. It only charges like $1 maximum. Most e-transfers are free. But whatever. And it also takes long, right? We know that Ethereum is probably the one that takes the longest. But other coins are pretty instantaneous, pretty fast. Sui is pretty fast. XRP is pretty fast, pretty good. What else have I tried? I've tried, I don't know. Well, Litecoin takes a while. Bitcoin, Ethereum also take a while because they're very heavy with their traffic. In most cases, they're just popular like that. But now there's a lot of other alternatives, so that's kind of eased all that traffic by now. Who knows? Who knows about this whole Ethereum transaction cost thing? Mantra apparently is now burning their tokens. 150 million token burns after unstaking period ends on April 29. They will be... Okay, so they haven't burned it yet. They will be burning 150 million tokens. How much of an impact will that have? I don't know. How many tokens does Mantra have? OM. Oh, it's right over here. In circulation, total supply. Oh my god, it has billions. Oh, 1.81 billion. Okay, circulating supply is 949 million. Okay, actually, this might be pretty good. How much was it? 150? 150 million? You're racing about 10% of the total supply, of the circulating supply. The total supply is still there, right? Okay, there's no max supply though. I mean, that's usually the case with these kinds of coins. If something is inflationary, has like no maximum supply, infinite, the best way to keep prices intact is just to burn tokens. It's costly though. Like you're getting rid of money, right? You're burning it out of existence to make it a bit more scarce, right? Less options, less supply, more demand is kind of what they're hoping for, but I don't think this is a very high demand token. It's number 104 now. It's dropped like crazy. And it hasn't risen on the news either. 4.15% down today. At least it's recovered something. It's at 52 cents. What did we reach? What was the lowest point? Like barely anything, actually. 50 cents. Okay, we're practically still where we were ever since our drop. Oh no, it was more. It was more. This is the drop that we saw over here. Yeah, it's literally stayed flat ever since, if you compare it like this. From being worth $6-7 to being worth 50 cents. That's the state of Mantra right now. I don't know if this token burn will help it that much. Did you know that using please and thank you to AI actually costs tens of millions of dollars in electricity costs? So we should be ruder to AI, apparently. I'm a victim to this. I usually say please and thank you to my AI whenever I chat with it. Apparently, I'm costing them millions in electricity costs, so sorry about that. If it's for ChatGPT, I think I'll probably still use please and thank you because screw Sam Altman. If it's in Grok, I'll try to tone it down. Although I mainly use Grok. Whatever. Global M2 money supply. Let's go. So this is the big discrepancy, big battle, big argument that's kind of going on around right now. Is what is the correct correlation? Is it 108 days offset or is it 78 days offset? Well, here's the comparison between the two. If you're looking at 78 days, the chart above, it's looking like the blast off has already happened and we're currently just going to make higher highs and higher lows for until July, right? Because it's less days forward, 78 days. But if we're looking at 108 day offset, which is the one that I've been following for a long time and the one that I think is still going to play out, we can see a drop before end of month. That's what I'm expecting to see. And I'm going to stick with this for a moment until I'll probably change my ideas after May 1st. May 1st will be my deciding date, right? I feel like there's just going to be a bit of uncertainty. Like, what's going to happen, right? Is China going to say anything? Is Jerome Powell going to get fired? Who knows what other event is going to happen in the upcoming weeks till the end of the month? And ultimately, we're just going to get a bit of like, I don't know, maybe price decay, uncertainty, like I said. before this meeting, right? It's so far looking like 80% chance that we're not getting a rate cut, and that might make the market, you know, a little bit sad. Or maybe we get, I don't know, some of that sentiment poured on from Wall Street into the crypto market, because I mean, I showed you, right? Wall Street lost 1 trillion today off of its stock market in the US. So I don't know, maybe that translates into crypto, not to cause any fear or anything. Like, Bitcoin's doing just fine. It's at new high level, right? That we haven't seen since March. Literally 1 month ago, we've been at this level. Or who knows? Maybe we bounce down from here. What if this is an important resistance right over here? I'm just making stuff up for resistances, honestly. Could be the case. I don't know. Kind of trying to break out of it. If we do, I mean, congratulations, deserved. Go pump to 91,000. It's another 3% away. Could happen. But I'm expecting the bottom scenario to play out. 108 days, which M2 money supply is still making all-time highs. That's the only thing that really matters, is that this M2 money supply makes all-time highs, so that we know for sure that crypto will continue to rally from here until practically end of summer, right? So it's looking really good. With the 108-day offset, it's looking like still in August, we're still making new highs. So yeah, very promising. Nice. Global M2 has run up for over 3 months. It continues to head up. There's the two differences between the offsets of 78 days and 108 days. They provide a good balance between the two most likely outcomes. Are we in the micro rally of the 108-day chart or the blast off of the 78-day chart? Remember, there will be volatility in non-correlated periods, so you have to be slow to make assumptions. Needless to say, Bitcoin's price lately has been very encouraging and exciting. And if we're lucky, 78 days it is, and we're already off to the races. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, even both scenarios, bottom line, both scenarios is good for Bitcoin, right? There's no losing here. I would rather the lower scenario to play out because, first of all, it gives me a broader idea of, yes, this bull run will continue for even longer. Like, if you're telling me, you know for sure that Bitcoin will be at an all-time high 78 days from now, that's great. But what if you told me it will still be making all-time highs 108 days from now? That's even better, right? I want Bitcoin to make all-time highs every day forever, right? So, yeah, it's up to you. I mean, they're both the same thing. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. Guaranteed. All right, let's talk about some world events. Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum, founder. A lot of people hate this guy. They think he's a globalist and elite or whatever. He stepped down, resigns, effective immediately. Congratulations. Thank you for your service, whatever he did. And Pope Francis, unfortunately, passed away today at the age of 88 in his residence in the Vatican's Casa Santa Marta. Yeah. I don't know who the next one is going to be. There's all this talks about who the next pope is going to be, la la la. Strange, though, that literally J.D. Vance visited him hours before he died. I don't even know that. I heard that he was being hospitalized a couple times, so he was probably weak on health already. And yeah, today just happened to be the day he passed away. So unfortunate. We'll hope all the best for him in the afterlife, of course. Great. Well, this is where we are for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. That's all the news I have for today. I've been at it for 53 minutes. That is a lot. Not really. I usually go for like over an hour. No, I've tried to cut down, though, on my stream times. Just try to get it straight to the point as much as I can, as fast as possible. All right. Cool. So I'll end the stream here. Thanks so much for watching. Can't stream tomorrow, so I'll be back Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. And yeah, have a good night.